There we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you a demonstration, and then based off that demonstration, with regard to like the paper, I'm going to give you some questions on there. You're more than welcome to write some notes. That's another behavior that you've got to get down to, like as far as writing down things that are important for yourself. I had a student that used to. Now he had some issues as far as just mentality things that was going on. He always kept what they call, it's called a buck slip. And what it was, he would write himself down notes all the time. I do that too in life now, just because I got to remember all different things. I know Ms. Devert writes stuff down. We're always writing stuff down. So you have that piece of paper. I'm going to tell you some questions that are going along with that. However, I'm going to they're going to be reflecting what I'm going to show you. So if you want to write some stuff down before I give you the actual questions, you might want to go for it. Okay. Now I'm going to show you this demonstration, and this is a demonstration that I saw. Well, you guys have seen lots of demonstrations. Well, maybe not. Have you guys done the dancing colors demonstration? No. Nobody? You put a little bit of milk into a petri dish. So cool. You can do it, and like all these you can do at home. Milk in a petri dish. It works good if you use whole milk. Just like fat. The little dish, it's a little like cup, like glass, little like cup, if you will. It's like kind of shallow. Like triangular. Huh? No. It's. I got it, guys. It's a little glass or plastic. It's about that big around and about that deep, and you put like it's for microscope stuff. Don't worry about it. You fill it with milk. You put 4 drops of food coloring on there, and then you take a little dab with a toothpick. You take a little dab of soap. You put it right in the middle, and all of a sudden, what it does, it breaks the surface tension of the milk, and everything starts moving around, and it's crazy. And if you put more soap in there, it goes a little bit faster. There's a couple other cool ones with like I'm pretty sure Weeks has shown you guys the things with the Erlenmeyer flask with the different color water, and then you put the little file card in there. I know Weeks did it. If you had Weeks, you saw it. And then, did you not have Weeks? You did have Weeks? And he didn't show you the big flasks on top of each other?
Oh, wait,
yeah. And he pulls the card out. That one makes me more nervous than anything because I'm always afraid I'm going to smash those flasks and stuff like that. There's another one. Has anybody seen the one where you take a can, you take an empty aluminum can, you wrap a piece of paper around it, and then you can take a candle or a lighter to the paper, and it won't burn. It'll get black and black and black, and all the soot will go on there, and it'll get black and black, but it will not burn the paper, period. And I've actually, when I've done it before, I've taken the paper and like you can like erase the soot. You can like erase your name into it, and you can pass it around. It's like it doesn't burn. It's kind of a cool trick. There's another one too. If you can take a can, you put it in really, really cold water. It's open can. You pop the top open. You put it in really, really you hold it with tongs. You heat it up. You put it like over a flame, some sort of heat source. You heat it up really, really hot, and then you have a beaker full of ice water, and then it's really, really cold. You take the top portion that's open, and you stick it into the water, and the change in temperature causes the can to go and sucks down. It's really, really cool.
Wait, like a full can?
No, it has to be empty, but it's still intact, right? There's one that we can't do anymore. I do it every once in a while, like when it's not school time. But it's called the flying bottle. It's the coolest trick. You basically put a little bit of stuff in here. I'm not going to tell you what to put in here. And normally you just leave the top open, but I did it so many times. I got this down to a science. It was really, really cool. You put a little match, a ignition source in the end, and basically it takes off like a rocket. This thing, from this point, would go across the room and hit the wall. And we used to do it, like I would do it for kids' birthdays. We have a birthday like celebration jamboree. Like we put the person in front, and we have all the kids stand on the desks, and we'd sing happy birthday, and we'd have this thing, and we'd be like, happy birthday, dear, and I'd go, and it would go like that, and I'd have to move the whole kids thing, and it would be happy birthday, and then the fireworks would go off and everything, and not really, but this thing really flew far. But a teacher did this wrong, and they put too much of the stuff in there. And it wasn't a teacher here. It was somebody. It happened somewhere. They basically sent an email out to us. They keep doing this to us. You cannot do this anymore, right? They sent it off, and they're like, you cannot do what's called the flying bottle trick or the blah, blah, blah trick or the whatever trick because somebody put too much in here. And when the lid is off and the stuff's in there, it caught on fire, but it shot out the back, and there were students all over the back. So they all, I mean, I don't know to what extent they got hurt, but fire was thrown on children. All right, so it did not work out well, okay? So that is one I cannot do during school times, okay? Maybe, you know what I'll do? Maybe I'll film it. I don't know if it's justifiable. Like it has the same effect. It's super loud too. But I put this like nozzle on here. It's all jetted out now. It's cool. If you take this off, it goes like it kind of goes across the desk. You put the jet nozzle on there, and I put just the right amount of fuel in there. It just goes across the room and slams into the wall. It's really cool. It's fun. So you got all these demonstrations you've seen before. This is a demonstration that a professor I had named Dr. Schuett showed us. He was one of those guys that's scary smart. Like if you ever meet somebody who's like really really smart, and it's like you just know you're smart. You're smart. I've known a few people like that. He was one of those guys. He was fairly short. He was probably up here on me. Kind of a little bit heavier, balding. He had a little bit of a lisp, big beard, and stuff like that. He's still around. I actually contacted him on Facebook because I told this story last semester, and the kids were like, "You should have him come in," because he was my professor at ASU. I contacted him. He never responded, but he did friend me, so I know he's going. Yeah, so I know he doesn't hate me totally. He probably just doesn't remember me at all. But basically, he worked with copperhead snakes. If you guys know what copperhead snakes are, highly venomous snakes. He worked with them in Georgia. He was at University of Georgia for a long time. He's at ASU. Last I knew, he was at ASU. He works with rattlesnakes. Like on his Facebook page, he's like holding up a rattlesnake. He's got tongs out and stuff like that. I'm like, that's so cool what he's doing, you know? He shows the demonstration. The class I had with him was called Vertebrate Zoology, and basically we dissected stuff. This is a class we won't dissect in. I know. Everybody's like, you can do it if you go to anatomy physiology. Dissecting, you kind of don't learn that much stuff. It depends on the context. But this was probably my third year in college, third or fourth year in college, so it was junior, senior. It was a 400 level class. It was top level class. We dissected everything. We did rats, pigs, sharks, fish, birds. We did a bunch of junk like that. And it was a fun class. It took a lot of time. But he, close to the beginning of the class, he goes, I want to show you guys this demonstration. It was really cool. So again, we've been in science, doing science stuff for a long time. And if you guys stay in science courses long enough, you'll see enough demonstrations that you're like, I've already seen it. Oh, I can figure it out. Oh, it's no big deal. Okay. So I'm going to show you what he did. I'll talk through it briefly, but you're going to be required to take some observations, write some stuff down, come up with some variables, come up with some questions, and ultimately at the very end, I'm going to ask you to tell me what you think caused what happened to happen. Okay. Can you grab on the other cup? I think it's on the outside door. I don't think this one. Hang on. Okay. There's one more. Okay, you ready? So I am not going to tell you a whole lot. If you have questions after the fact, I will let you deal with it. Yeah, that one works. Okay, I'll put this away. And also, after the fact, when you're making observations, I would hope that you would come up here and take a look at it. I would hope that everybody would take some time to look at this. I also left rulers up here so you can make measurements if you need to. Also, if you want to time stuff, you can time stuff. Actually, I'll have one person, if somebody can time one, you can time with this, or you can time with your phone. It really doesn't matter. Have a timer ready if somebody could do that, please. So he basically did this. He took a pie tin. He took a pie tin out, okay? And I'll leave it up here so you can manipulate, do whatever you want. He took, he had this clay, and he basically put some candles in the clay, and he placed those essentially in the middle of that, okay? So, camera. And then he took 2 pennies, and he put them. You'll have to see it when you get up here. He put them on either side of the clay itself, and then he poured water in here. And I have to tell you one more thing. I have a thing called benign essential tremors. It's basically, I have shaky hands, really shaky hands. My parents don't have it. It's a genetic defect. It's a genetic mutation that I got from either my mom or my dad, because it's a dominant trait, which means one of my parents should have it, but they don't. Which means there was some sort of genetic defect between one of my parents when they got to me, because 2 of my kids have it so far. And what it does is it's just basically like the motor skills in my hands, the fine motor skills, are like really shaky. So you'll see, like I'll walk around sometimes, the kids will go, your hands are shaking. Your hands are shaking. I go, I know, thank you. Okay. And it gets really bad. And I tell you this just so you don't think I'm like a heroin addict coming down or anything. Okay. It gets really bad when I'm trying to focus on something. Okay. So just be patient and try not to make fun of my disability. not making fun of any other person who has a disability. Okay? This is for real. Okay, ready? Okay, when the timer's ready, let me know, and then you're going to tell me to go when I'm ready. You have a timer ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? Tell me when to go.
Go ahead.
And stop. That's just pretty. Okay?
The
Okay.
water is sucked up into the cup.
The water went in a cup, and I'll let you come up and take a look at that. Any questions about the demonstration right now before I give you the questions? Yes?
How much water was in the
400 milliliters. Any other questions? No? Okay. Your first two questions, you're going to keep track on that paper. It's probably going to come back. I'll let you look at it in just a second. Let me give you the questions first.
I'm going to put the time on the board.
Okay. Make sure that you cover this with your partners. You have 9 minutes to get these things done. Watch. It is not 3 good examples. It's 5. It's 5. In fact, I'll just change it right now. Now, the only thing I will give you, as far as a clue is this. Now, listen. If you went to talk about variables and make observations of my sons jumping the ramps over at the dirt fields by Francis' sons, are we okay? Yes. Would you talk about the bushes that are over by the wall as an observation? Does that have anything to do with the jumps themselves? No. So when you're making observations on this stuff and anything in that regard, focus on the stuff that you would think would be relevant to what just happened. All right. And I will tell you one more thing with regard to where the water's at. As far as I know, that water will stay there I left it there till May one time, and it stayed there. The water in the pan evaporated. The water that's in a cup stayed there till May. All right. Let me get the camera one more time so that I can show what it looks like.